Okay, so it has been a little bit since we have last taken a look at some of my previously built models. So as the title suggests, we're going to get back into it. So first up today, it's going to be a bit of a sort of almost an exact continuation from the last one. The last two videos I put out were the CF-100 and the CF-104. So continuing along with that same theme and kind of in the same shelf area in behind me. Two more Canadian aircraft. We're going to start with this one. This is the Academy 148 scale T-33 or CT-133 Silver Star, specifically the Canadian version. And it is very, very dusty. And I currently don't have my dusting brush with me. I'm gonna use this one. This one's probably okay. Yeah, so this is the Academy. Academy? Yes, the Academy 148 scale T-33, and I finished it up in the Canadian scheme. This is the Red Knight scheme from the early 1960s. It was when it was painted up in day glow, as you can clearly see. Later on in its career, it went to an overall red scheme, but the first few seasons was flown in this day glow scheme. Day glow is a very interesting color. It was used a lot in the 50s and 60s for high visibility, especially in the RCAF and the Arctic, stuff like that, where planes would go down in the snow and be very difficult to find, or in the fields and stuff like that. So day glow made the aircraft stand out easily to searches if they were looking for an aircraft that went down. Unfortunately, the color itself was not the best. It was a very unstable color. It didn't last very long. It tended to fade very, very quickly. So it was kind of a high maintenance color. So it really didn't last long in service, and they very quickly adopted the red and used red overall or wingtips or whatever they decided to do. So very cool color, but it just did not last in service. If memory serves, now this was a kit, I'm gonna actually pop it up online here while I'm talking about it, because this was a kit that I built many, many, many years ago. So I might have, this might have started as a kit built by somebody else that I then modified and stripped down and rebuilt in this scheme. I can't remember. So I'm gonna take a quick look. Okay, so it was definitely previously built. I can't remember if I built it previously or if it was provided to me already built. But either way, this kit was something that was built years ago and in approximately the 2000s. I don't know if I have a date added to this yet, 2009. So in 2008, 2009 timeframe, I stripped it down, cleaned it up, and I repainted it in the Red Knight scheme that you see here. And my notes tell me that I used leading edge models to do the decals on this. So it's held up really well, considering what you're looking at was something that I finished, what does that work out to, 15 years ago? 14, 15 years ago. And it's held up quite nicely sitting on the shelf. It was one of the first ones I did using a stand, and I've learned my lesson. I used a very thin wire, and it's got a little bit of flexibility in it. She wobbles quite a bit. So I learned my lesson to go to a bit of a thicker brass wire and shorten it down a little bit, get that stiffness up so she doesn't wobble as much. So learned my lesson on that. I could still do that if I wanted to on this, but I'm not too worried about it. It's not perfect. It was kind of, again, one of those, the first of my modern take on building, where I started to really take the time and effort to try to, clean up seams and sand things down and make things look neat. So it's not 100% perfect. The decals have a bit of issues with them. This is also one of the first times that, yeah, you know what? I'm looking at this. I'm 99% sure that I used can mill air, not leading edge. Yeah, 100%. This is can mill air decals. But it was the first time that I had really used those decals and started using setting solution. So there was some melting and some stuff with the decals, but I mean, overall it looks good. Still looks really good sitting on the shelf beside the rest of them. The Academy kit itself is dated, and it has a lot of issues, lack of detail in the cockpit, really thick, hazy canopies, Just overall, it's a bit of a low detail kit, but for what you want to do with it, it's not too bad. I have another one on the shelf I plan to build as the Black Knight. So I'll have the Red Knight and the Black Knight together. But that's a future project. So anyways, that's just another one of the ones I have sitting on the shelf. Again, as you're watching some of the newer videos, you'll see I have the model shelf in the background, so you can see these kind of sitting there. And as I said, I'm going to slowly go through and show all of you guys what I have back there. So not the best of my work. Like I said, it's an early piece for me. Released the first time, as I said, using flat coat and decal setting and weathering and all that kind of stuff. So it shows its age. It shows it was more of an early one, but anyways, I like the look of it. So I'm not going to ramble much longer. There's really not much to see. You're looking at it right there. This is the Academy 148 scale T-33, done up as the RCAF Red Knight using Can Mill Air custom decals. Thanks for watching.